Hello viewers, you are welcome to YTV Damaturu. This is a maiden edition of the program from the ACReSAL, brought to you by the Yobe State Television in collaboration with the Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACReSAL. The program seeks insight into the implementation, impact, challenges, and way forward regarding the ACReSAL project in Yobe State. ACReSAL is a multi-sectoral and multi-institutional scheme covering environment, agriculture, and water, designed by the federal government to combat desertification and restore degraded lands and spatial ecosystem for agriculture and biodiversity conservation. In this maiden edition, we host the Yobe State Project Coordinator of the ACReSAL in person of Shehu Alhaji Muhammad, FCCP, FADM, FDMS, Peace Ambassador. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
First of all, let's hear from the project coordinator more about the project structure and objectives.
Thank you once again. As earlier highlighted about ACReSAL, ACReSAL happened to be an acronym standing for Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape. It's a World Bank funded project embarked upon by the 19 northern states of Nigeria plus FCT. And we are having structures cutting across the federal, headed by a national coordinator in the persons of Abdul Hamid Umar. At the Wangpa level, we're having a task team leader in the person of Dr. Joy Ayenga. And the project at the federal level is being chaired by three ministries: the Ministry of Environment, Agriculture and Water Resources, and the Minister of Environment happened to be the chairman of the steering committee. And then the Minister of Agriculture and Water Resources happened to be the co-chairman at the federal level. The same structure is being downsided here in all the states of the 19th state flat, the FCT, i.e. The Commissioner of Environment of Yobe State, Honorable Sidi Yakubu Karaswa, and the Commissioner of Agriculture and Water Resources happen to be the chairman and the co-chairman of the state steering committees. In the same vein, we are having technical committee. The technical committee at the federal is being chaired by the Federal Ministry of Environment, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Environment, and co-chaired by the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Agriculture and Water Resources. The same structure is also applied here in Yobe. The Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Environment, Tunde Bitara, happened to be the chairman of the steering committee, and then co-chaired by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Water Resources. We do also actually partner with relevant MDS and agencies. Like here in Yobe, we partner with SEMA in terms of getting early warning system. We partner with Georges in getting the appropriate data and the geopositioning of all our activities in the state. We partner with the Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of works in terms of our activities of civil and what have you. So telling you that actually the project is multi-faceted, is multi-institutional and multi-dimensional. At the local government level, since we are talking about a structure, we are having a 9-member committee chaired by the DP of the local government at the chairman and supported by experts in agriculture, environment, water, and the traditional rulers and what have you. The secretary at the local government is the CDO, Community Development Officer. In all our intervention sites across the state, we do have site committees, and these site committees are comprising of the youth, comprising of the women folk, comprising of traditional rulers, and what have you. So telling you that from the federal, the state, the local government, the community, and the site communities were involved.
Okay, what about the objectives ACReSAL wants to achieve? What do you actually want to achieve as your goal?
We have what we call PDO. PDO is the project development objective, which has to do with actually integrating all activities on ACReSAL in terms of livelihood, in terms of actually taking care of our degraded landscape across these 19 states of Nigeria and respecting our enabling environment. So these are the videos, and we are having components. The components, we are having four major components. Component 1A, what we call strategic watershed management. This has to do with the aspect of serious gully erosion, constructions of drainages, constructions of as dam, constructions of mini dams, and constructions of even dam itself. And in addition to that, we are having one aspect under the component A, which is component A1. That one has to do with the aspect of restoration of the wetlands, and then the restoration of the oasis and the biodiversity. And luckily enough, in Yobe, we are having one strategic aspect under the wetland, the most popular Hadeja Guru wetland. In the entire world, they have what they call Ramsar. The first Ramsar site in Nigeria was actually established or commissioned in Nigeria, in Yobe, and in this wetland of Guru precisely in 2001. In the same wetland, we have the first pioneers with the sanctuary. The sanctuary was commissioned by Prince Elizabeth II in Dogona. They are telling you how important this basin is. In the same vein, UNESCO earmarked the Marma Canal as Center for International Heritage, telling you that as far as ACReSAL is concerned, and as far as World Bank is concerned, as far as the aspect of the wetland is concerned, Yobe is entirely exclusive in this aspect. In addition to this vital aspect that we mentioned, even though apart from the Hadeja Guru wetlands, we do have also the Zoto wetland, and then we do also have the Kikon wetlands. All these particular wetlands have means of livelihood and a source of income to the community, especially some 30 years back. When you go to this sanctuary, you will see birds coming all the way from Italy to this area, coming all the way from Netherlands in millions, hundreds of millions. And you see birds also coming from England. So meaning there are migratory birds flying all the way from Europe down to Nguru, Hadeja wetland. And they come in millions. And unfortunately, due to the activities of hawking and climate change, the number of these birds start to decrease day in, day out, until a situation whereby you can no longer see these birds. Maybe now they were confined to a reserve in the Gona. Perhaps you will see them using binocular. ACReSAL now is facing this challenge head on. We are trying to, number one, the quantity and the quality of water have been drastically reduced. We recently, with the instruction of His Excellency, purchased a machine called Suambugi. We started dredging the machine and the basin and the water for the first 13 years, which was not hitherto coming. Now the water now is coming to this particular area, and perhaps there is hope that these birds and the activities of farming, pastoralists and fishing will be restored back into this basin. And in addition to the aspect of the wetland which are exclusive to Yobe, we do also have in our component A the aspect of restoration of the oasis. And luckily enough, in the whole country, Yobe State happened to be among those states with the highest, not even among those states, the only state with the highest number of oases, numbering up to about 300 plus. And unfortunately, these oases, we have three types. We have the active oasis, we have the semi-active, and then we have the dead oasis. The active one are the one that when you go at the middle of the desert, you will see water in it, surrounded by some shrubs or trees, and then beneath or behind the trees, you will find encroaching deserts. So simply food is actually a phenomena or scenario where at the middle of the desert you see water. So these are called the active oases. The semi-active oases are the one that actually having two features, some portions of water and some portion of lack of water. And the dead one, absence of the water, and over there you only have some potash and some dust. Meaning hitherto the place was filled with water. Later, the water can no longer be seen, and it was reduced to dust. So these are the three types of oases that we are having. And unfortunately, about 60% of the active oases are no longer in existence. But when you go to Kajimaram, you find an active oasis. There are places when you go to Toshia, you find active oases. When you go to Kaska, you go to Tulotula, and whatever. There are many of them. But there are some that people used to even actually harness fishes there. So ACReSAL now is ready to bring back to life this particular God-given natural resource, and they are serving as natural stabilizers to sandune fixation and what have you. So these are among the activities we do under component 1A, component 1, and then on the component B is talking about community strengthening and community investment. Under the community strengthening and investment, we are having many aspects, especially now under the community investment, we are having specific two vital projects called the CRA, Community Revolving Fund, where I think 10% of the entire budget of ACReSAL, the budget of ACReSAL, as I mentioned earlier, is $700 million to be utilized by the 19th state of the city within the period of the project, which is 6 years, in a basket. By a basket, I mean no allocation, no income allocation will be given to state. It is based on performance. The more you perform, the more the money you draw from the basket. The lower you linger behind, the more the chance of drawing the fund from the basket. And you move from tier 1 to tier 2, and from tier 2 to tier 3. So these are the forces where you should grow. And luckily, Yobe said now we have passed the stage of tier 1, we are now in tier 2. And the last stage, for the highest level for you to attain drawing the money from the fund is tier 3. And by the grace of God Almighty, we will be in tier 3. But there are some states up to now, among the states, among the 19 states, up to now, they are lingering in tier 2, tier 1. They never reach tier 2. And in each state, there are some levels of dollars that you should actually accrue. The minimum is $2 million. Once in your tier 2, you cannot access beyond $2 million. And luckily enough, Yobe said, under the able leadership of His Excellency Honorable Malabuni, with his hand-holding and support, we are able to scale through to tier 2. And the tier 2, you amass money beyond $10 million. And now, I am also now trying to battle up to see that I scale through, not lingering in tier 2, but to move to tier 3. Among the activities that we are doing under the community investment is the aspect of the CRA, Community Revolving Fund, which I told you is golfing 10% of the 700 million, which is $70 million. And each state is entitled to, I think, about 140 communities. So the sky is the limit. If you're able to assist that, fine. You are at liberty to proceed beyond the 40 allocation, 140. We actually, in Yobe, distributed $250 million with the instruction of His Excellency, where as a pilot, where 4 local governments of Nguru and Karaswa, Damaturu, and Gujuba were selected as a pilot. Now, we are now cutting across the entire 17 local governments, and they are going to benefit from that. Sensitization have been concluded for the second phase of the CRA, starting from Damaturu. Last week, we actually sensitized people from Damaturu zone, comprising of Gulani, Gujuba, Damaturu, Tarmua, Bursari, and Edam. Then the second one was at Fortescue, where we sensitized people on this aspect of the CRM participants were drawn from the CIGs across these local governments of Fune, Pika, Potoskum, and Nengere. By tomorrow, we'll be moving to, inshallah, moving to Gashua, communities from Yunusari, Yusufari, Badeja, Cusco will be trained on how to assess this fund in Gashua. I will personally be there to actually grace the occasion. And then the last one is the one at Nguru, which will take place, inshallah, on Friday. The local government of Nguru, Karasua, and Machina will also be trained on how to actually assess these funds. In addition to the aspect of the CRA, we are also having another upcoming activity, which is PLEAT. PLEAT is Palmer Lead Irrigation Development. This particular one is specifically targeting farmers in terms of how to develop their orchards and how to develop their farmlands and how to develop their plantations. Here, we are going to actually encourage the farmers by providing them solar boreholes, by giving them improved varieties and even training. In addition to that, we are having 178 wards, and extension workers were drawn from these 17 wards. We train them in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and the like. So these are among the activities that we normally do. And in community strengthening, we actually interact or collect actually or relate with the universities, University of Maiduguri and all other institutions which are directly with what we are doing. And support now to our MDS, we actually ACReSAL supported the Ministry of Environment by providing utility vehicles and kilos and what have you there. And under Ministry of Water Resources, for the first time, Yobe State is having a laboratory where water and quality of water will be tested. The laboratory activity has been completed. The machines were supplied. I think maybe in a week or two, His Excellency is going to commission this. So, and the component 3 aspect is project management, which has to do with day-to-day activities on how to run the activities, attending the conferences. We just came back from Azerbaijan of COP 27, COP 29, where all the commissioners and project coordinators across these 19 states participated. The national coordinators and the team also participated. And the Nigerian pavilion, Yobe State was very, very lucky to have in the Nigerian pavilion on the day when ACReSAL was making presentation. The Speaker Yobe State Assembly was there. The House Committee Chairman on Environment, Honorable Dumbul, was there. Yobe State was fully represented in all activities as far as the COP is concerned. Even last year, they were at Dubai. Last 2 years, I was personally in Egypt. And inshallah, we will be in Brazil by the grace of God Almighty next year. Lastly is the component D aspect. The component D aspect is called contingency emergency response component, which has 0 allocation. And this component is used in case of unforeseen calamities, which is beyond the capacity of the state. So briefly, these are the components under ACReSAL.
Okay, it is quite impressive how you explain the objectives as well as how you go about implementing the project, particularly here in Yobe State. In the course of your explanation, you made mention of the reduction in overseas, in number of overseas in Yobe State. What actually led to the death of the overseas? Is it human factors or what?
Well, you can attribute this to maybe anthropogenic, which is human related, and it may be natural. The aspect of climate change is something which is very, very worrisome, and it has concerned beyond Yobe or beyond Nigeria. It is a worldwide phenomenon which the entire world now is trying to address. The deflation of the ozone layer, which actually leads to many climate vagaries, and Yobe State happened to be at the brunt. We are bearing the brunt. I was able to during our advocacy visit, we visited the emir of Yusufari, in his palace, he was telling us that when they were young, you can hardly see a bare naked land during rainy season. So meaning there is no place that in the whole of Yobe state, if you cannot see desert in Yusufari, meaning there is no desert or anywhere in Yobe. So he was telling us that actually some few kilometers away east of Yusufari, in between Kankare or Kachalari or Zumugu, he mentioned some areas that they will see barren land. Some few hectares, less than an hectare, barren land. So come and see, this place there is no grass. So telling you that actually this aspect of desertification and drought and whatever is something alien to Yobe. It's something entirely new to Yobe. So and the causes, as I'm telling you, drastic falling of trees. Drastic phantom falling of trees. We don't have any means of energy or means of livelihood apart from cutting down trees. Most farmers, after the rainy season, when the rainy season stops, they don't have anything to do rather than to actually cutting down trees. And unfortunately, there are no sanctions, there are no laws which actually forbidding these people to actually stop from cutting down trees. And there are no serious campaign or advocacy in trying to venture into afforestation by planting more trees. If you are cutting and you are planting, at least you are doing plus minus. But in a situation where you are cutting down on daily basis and you are not planting. And don't forget, these kind of trees that actually people use to go and cut down overnight, some of them are even elder than them in terms of age. Some trees are up to about 30, 40 years. Some trees are up to about 50 years. But overnight, you use ace and cut them down. So this aspect and the aspect of the climate change and what have you are the sole causes where or why the oases are drying and where we are now experiencing desertification, why we are now experiencing drought. Rainy seasons in Yobe sometimes like last year in these areas of Toshia, in Yunusari, some part of Gaidam, some part of Bursari, and some part of Yusufari, and some part of Machina and Karasua experienced only 2.5 months rainfall. So in a situation where you are experiencing 2.5 rainfall, what do you expect? The result is actually drought. So therefore, the people of that area, who actually most of them are peasant farmers, they ended up losing their investment in farm. So therefore, the aspect of desertification and drought in Yobe, they were attributed to anthropogenic factors and for natural causes.
Okay, there are so many issues I am raising here, but I think they have to be shifted to the next program, particularly with regards to the environmental challenges, part of which is the frequent falling down of live trees and so on. But regarding the oases, most of which have become dead now, with the presence of ACReSAL here in Yobe State, do we place hope that these oases will be restored?
Inshallah, by the grace of God Almighty. Last 3 days we had a meeting with the Rita. The Rita is actually a specialist on oasis and all aspects regarding oasis with the World Bank in Washington. Yesterday we had a meeting with her together with tax team leader we presented terms of reference for the restoration of 108 hectares of Kajimaram oasis. In these oasis, we try to plant trees which are drought resistant, and we are trying to actually convert that place into a tourist attraction by providing even power bike. By providing even power bikes, even encouraging the locals when you go to Dubai or when you go to Egypt, you will actually be taken around their scenes by camels or by horseback. So we are trying to encourage the locals also so that actually tourists will be going there, and by that maybe we may have investors. Those are many. We cannot actually put this aspect alone to ACReSAL, but head on currently now our terms of reference to revitalize one of the biggest oasis, Kajimaram oasis, is on the table of the World Bank. As soon as now actually the thing is cleared, will actually swing to action. We didn't even actually went to that. When you go to Casca today, last year during the beginning of the rainy season, we were able to establish a borehole, fence the borehole, and then engage the people to take care of the place. We established a nursery. In the nursery, bioluminescent trees were actually developed, and we utilized them. Not only utilize them, we encourage the people to come and take free of charge, and then planting them. We have the same thing in Gamewa. Sandung stabilization has been established in Gamewa at the heart of the desert. Gamewa is actually a place in between Casca and Tulotuloa, and it's a desert front area. So it's actually a wind belt. But the time that we are able to control the desert encroachment at Gamewa, we were actually trying to address the problems of the classification in that area head on. So luckily enough, we established a borehole, we fenced the area and planted trees. In the same vein, we did that in Casca. In the same vein, we did that one, another one at Memalari. The one at Memalari, we planted trees, and then we handed over to the community. The district head of Memalari personally used to actually, in fact, he became the custodian of that particular site. It's one of the best sites that we're having. When you go to Nguru, we upgraded the Nguru nursery, Damaturu nursery, Potaskum nursery. All these nurseries are in a distance hitherto, but they were not solar. We converted all these areas to solar. This year, we distributed more than 200 seedlings here in Damaturu, free of charge to any person, and assorted trees and what have you there. So these are our commitments, not only towards revitalizing the aspect of the oasis, but the general revitalization of the degraded areas and land in Yobe State.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Possibly in the next program, we are going to look at your achievements encompassing all of the 3 component areas of agriculture, environment, and water resources. It is very impressive having you today.
Thank you.
To have some insight into your activities, particularly the implementation of your project ACReSAL here in Yobe State, of which we have had so many developments. If not, we are having you here today, we may not come across all of this. So also our viewers. With this, we have come to the end of this. We hope to be with you the next program, where we are going to look more into the activities of ACReSAL here in Yobe State. For our guest, Alhaji Sheikh Alhaji Muhammad FCCP, FDMS Peace Ambassador, nice having you here.
Thank
we
you.
are very much grateful with your presentation and contribution to our program. Thank you, sir.